Joe, and I hope this works.
Hi, I'm Kevin, and I hope this works.
Everybody knows and loves Nora Cakes. How's everybody doing? Welcome. Thanks for coming to our Michigan or Bust conversation recap. We have 3 things to do. I don't know how long this is going to take.
Right.
But we do have 3 things to do. One of them is obviously the Michigan or Bust recap. Talk about it. Tell some stories.
We've got 5 or 6 videos.
Yeah. Out already, right?
Right. Yep. And that playlist is in the comment all the way on top of the chat. And I may have been able to put it in the description of the live stream. So if you've missed anything in our Michigan or Bus tour, which actually started October 1st.
Yeah, about then, yeah. It's been a while. The other thing at the end of our live stream, we'll be talking much more about our what's next, what you'll see from us next. But first, we have to kind of catch up a little bit.
A little bit.
We're at the end of the last video. Yeah, I know. The end of the last video. I also want to thank everybody for their condolences.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. We're waiting to see what happened with selling your mother's house.
Absolutely.
And that was the last thing, we were there waiting to see what happened. And our plan was to kind of, it'll take months, and no, the house sold fast.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Went on the market, what was it?
I don't know. Not long ago.
Middle of January.
Yeah.
First showing was the first day it was live on the market. And that was actually the offer that we accepted.
Just a couple weeks later.
It take a couple weeks for offers to filter through and all that.
Yeah. So.
Very quick process. We had to choose where we were going to live.
We had to find a place to decide what we were going to do.
Right.
The exciting thing really here, the big news is
we own this place.
we bought a house. Yeah. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
It's a great place. Are you done already? Are you finished?
Are you done bothering us?
Okay.
We love you,
You
but
can go if you want to.
You just...
I'm just gonna hang out here first, okay? Girl, she's excited too. She likes it here a lot. So
we have not given up RV, and Falcor is parked right in the front yard. You can see it from the kitchen.
Yep.
And
it was fast.
Yeah, and the logistics it was really hard to work out. The logistics of closing on one house, closing on another house, moving 104 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
All of our possessions, everything in the garage. Yeah.
It was interesting.
And I didn't have enough drivers, so I...
Right. Well, we had to find a place too, really fast.
Right.
Because there were offers coming in.
We'd already been shopping for weeks prior to that.
Yeah, we needed to pick something.
Came down real quick.
Yeah, it did. And, driving up to this spot to look at it, it's the one we looked at and said, hey, we need to see this place. Came up here, and as we're riding up here, oh my, I kept going look where we're going. I'm looking around, and it's just getting norther.
Norther.
Now.
Is that a word?
It's now a word. Yeah, I made it a word. North, and you've used it.
A little more of that northern Michigan feel.
A little bit. It isn't on a lake, but by gosh, if there isn't a river, half a mile from here.
As crow flies, yeah.
It's a nice location. It really is. So we're very excited, and we hope that you'll continue to watch our videos. We have so much planned to share with you later, but
it's a very vacation-y spot.
Yeah.
We were looking at the wiki or a lot of demographics on the actual county, and kind of doubles in size over the year because of all the vacation type of things right to do around it, right close. So
it brings all kinds of stuff to do.
Absolutely.
It empties the place out sometimes, and then it provides some really nice people watching activities. Absolutely, yeah, it'll be fun.
That's fishing.
Fun. This summer I'm going tubing.
tubing.
On the river. I'm going tubing. Yeah, it'd be great.
Want to look at comments for just a little bit?
If you'd like to look at comments, I can see comments here real quick. Yeah, see who's
Right.
here?
Right.
All right, I knew we had to.
Right.
Oh, go on over there then. Let me see here. Karen was here first. Hi, Karen. How
Well,
are
Karen,
you? I hope
thank
you're
you.
doing well. Thank you. Jesus is Lord, my darling.
Hello.
Sending me messages on the slide, right?
She was
Cracking
messaging
me up right before live stream.
right
Yeah.
before.
Minnesota gal, I'm glad you came too. Thank you for stopping by. Kathy, North Star
Hello,
Prepstetter.
Kathy.
Evening. How are you, darling? Okay. Oh, I lost my. There it went. Then it's back. Okay. Let me check some more here. Let's see.
Anybody from the back row?
Wow. Hi, Nora. Okay. Hi. Back rowers. No. Let's see. Kathy says, congratulations. Oh, there's Wilderstead. Hello there.
Hey, Dave, Amanda.
Uh-huh. Let's see what we got. Kathy.
A little closer to three.
Can you
There
see
we
a little
go.
there? Let's see.
Here, you talk.
Wilderstead, Minnesota gal, and North Kathy.
I turned 50. I got to wear glasses.
Yep, now he's old. We have been busy. Yes. Robin, thank you for coming. Hey, Farmer Brad's in the house.
Hey, Brad, how are you
Okay.
doing?
Michigan's been a little chilly lately.
It has been. Even further north, those guys are used. Ooh-wee.
You want to scroll those real quick?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so here we are. We live in this house. We bought a house with proceeds his half of selling his parents' house, which was amazing. But we'll get back to that later. We'll come back to that later, I think. We are here primarily to kind of revisit our Michiganer Bust adventure. We watched all the videos back today.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what I was absolutely struck by. I've never made content before that I was like, oh my gosh, like this. I was so happy that I'd made it because I got to revisit our adventure. It was awesome. I'm like, I really enjoyed a couple of these videos. It was great. So, just a few months ago. It was just a few months ago. Do you remember? We had to move. We were moving.
We started that first video, and I got to the point where we were pulling out of the apartment and our little area, the home driveway on the Gillette Avenue, and it threw me right back into, oh my gosh, I remember what that felt like. We were leaving that part, and I was headed to Michigan, going home, and I was excited, and we could open the windows and the breeze, and
it was great.
yeah, it was really cool watching something we've created. Well, you created
the videos.
Yeah, you've
Yeah.
been doing
Well,
this.
but not just videos because we did the thing.
Right.
You drove Falcor 1,700
Oh,
miles
yeah.
across country.
Yeah.
We did not bust. We made it
Right.
to Michigan. It was awesome.
It was very,
But
very
before
fun.
we left, I remember how much work we put into it. It was so much trying to figure out like how to.
Yeah.
We weren't in a position to be able to afford to move straight up. We weren't there at that point. And I did live streams. I did videos at that time about, I don't know how this works, but please God, I need an RV and I need a soft landing in Michigan. And my gosh, if you didn't provide, okay, so, but yeah, we were thinking about all the angles back just a few months ago, trying to figure out how on earth we're gonna do it. I kept saying, God, I need an RV and I need a soft landing, and so we hustled. We looked at every possibility.
Right.
We taxed our brains and used our know-how, and there were even some of our subscribers helping in searches
Absolutely.
for things. Yeah,
Absolutely. Super.
possibilities.
Which and that helped cultivate some ideas
Yeah.
and exercise some of our creativity and looking a little further outside the box. We didn't have a whole lot of options. We had a pickup truck that I didn't think would make it mechanically if we drove it. We had more possessions than would fit in a pickup truck. And the possessions that we did have, I guess finally we probably took about 25% of what we had owned in
I bet
Gillette.
so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it came down to driving an RV with all of what we own inside of it.
Yeah, and then loading an
So-
RV with stuff, right?
And knowing what
Yeah.
you could liquidate, knowing how. So it really was
Yep.
an exercise
Quite
in
a
faith
process.
Really, if I could give any advice, if you're facing some sort of weird situation like that, look at absolutely every option you can possibly can.
Right, but then you peel off because there were
You
things
peel
that we just
things.
couldn't do. Enclosed trailers were not available
Sure.
in our location at that time.
Right.
It's a ranch state. All the enclosed trailers are in business,
And truck prices were real high,
really
so we
high.
actually got a better value by selling our truck rather than having to. I was still
Tow it or
to
drive it or
buy the trailer. I would have had to tow buy the
something,
truck,
right? Yeah, all the
right?
possibilities, all the different variations that we
things.
looked at. A truck and a trailer, RV and a something or a U-Haul and a whatever. I knew that Nora would be most comfortable driving all that way, um, where she wasn't, stuck at her feet. She's really not a great um, automobile rider.
Right. We
You
didn't
know,
take not in the
no,
car at all.
nah, not in the truck, not in the van. Yeah,
mm,
but so we sorted it all out. God intervened. I've seen God's hands all over our lives for the last while. So yeah,
right.
we managed to get it done. We hustled. We sold stuff. We made as much wood things as we could possibly in a
Absolutely.
day, and we hustled. You sold wood and things out of the shed, and
Tools that were replaceable.
did the garage sale. Right? That was a great garage sale.
Right.
We did live stream. I think that was our last live. Was the garage sale outside of the little rental house in Gillette.
Right.
And I remember that. I blew up my flip flops one day. That was great. One of them. And then one of our subscribers, we got pizza ordered from Texas.
Which was
Wyoming,
great.
Which
We
was
got
awesome.
We got like the ultimate pepperoni from Papa
It was
John's.
wonderful.
Yeah.
She knew I had had a busy day, and she's like, "Have you eaten yet?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I haven't gotten around to that yet." So she ordered us pizza. It was fantastic. I remember that. I'll never forget that ever.
Right.
And then
So that's in one of those videos.
yeah,
We
it's the
started,
one I saw that today in the video. And then there's this story that we could never. Okay, so during this garage sale, I'm outside, out back with all our stuff we're selling, right? Kevin's down in the dungeon shop, right? Hustling stuff down there, okay? Nora's
selling
alone.
table saw.
Yeah, Nora's alone in the house.
upstairs.
I can't hear anything. I'm outside. But Kevin can hear because he's downstairs. I sold the bed, just the mattress. So the box spring, or
Well-
not box spring, just the frame was still there.
Right.
I sold the mattress, the Ashley Time mattress that we had, because we couldn't take it with us. Some poor person needed a cheap mattress. What it is, right? Okay, it was a great mattress. We got another one. And I didn't even think about it. So Kevin heard it go down.
I'm downstairs, and see the platform bed frame still is a metal frame around it, but it's not typical like a regular old bed frame you're thinking, but it has like a wire kind of a springing grid to it. So it's a big, large, well, an extreme sport for a dog that's not as tall as
It
the
was
bed
tall.
frame.
Yeah, it was
So
a
her
tall
legs
frame.
could barely touch, and all I heard was, and I'm directly underneath in the dungeon, I heard bonk, donk, bonk, 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 and you hear these springy sounds, and I hear thumps on the ground, on the floor, which is above me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my dog is trapped in the bed frame.
Yeah, she
finally
went to get on
didn't-
bed and it wasn't there anymore. Mom
Yeah.
sold the bed. Oh, she was kind of mad. Yeah, that
It
was funny.
didn't hurt her. She's a little
She was
traumatized.
fine. She was fine.
She got out quickly, but imagine that sound.
Doink, 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 doink.
Right.
That's hilarious.
They're just chatting it up. We got to catch
Are
up
they
there.
chatting up? Oh,
They're
heavens.
just
Okay,
mamas.
let's see what's going on there. They miss us?
Back
We've
here.
been busy, sort of. Let's see. Hearts of Epic, yes. Oh, is there a space for the shop in this house? Oh, wait till you see what
Two of
we've
them.
got here for you. Wait for this. Yeah, this is awesome.
Future videos, of course.
Yes.
We have some improvised notes behind the camera, so we can keep in time with what we're supposed to do.
Interesting.
What's that?
Nah, I don't know. Just reading comments are just a little bit interesting. I'm going to keep on with the story, so. If
Okay.
you want to read comments, you can. So we were moving. Oh, I remember that. And that was so much work. And we were so exhausted.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
Hello,
It was a
Heaven's Gate.
lot.
Larry's here. Different Larry.
Okay.
Hello, Larry.
Um, we were about done,
Yep.
remember?
Yep.
And we're hanging out in the RV because sold the bed. So we wake up in the morning in the RV, still at the little rental house in Gillette. And first thing that morning, the tenant from upstairs next door smashed into the RV.
Oh my gosh.
It's terrifying. Scared me plumb to death.
If you watch video number 2, you'll find a more recent rendition, a better recapturing of the events that actually happened while I was in my pajamas with my cup of coffee.
Yeah, does it?
And wham! And she hit her house, her RV, her car. Boom. She was leaving. Okay, I'll save the rest for you.
Yeah.
Watch that video.
I think that little girl was having some bad days and taking it everywhere she went with her.
Yeah.
But I was just real. I remember I watched it today and looked at it and went, "Wow, I'm just really, really glad. I'm so grateful that she didn't do more damage.
Absolutely.
I would have sunk us, and if she'd torn it up somehow, we couldn't have."
Yeah, broke the lower awning mount, so it made it 18-foot awning completely useless. So yeah. Could have done worse.
Could have been
the
so
rear
much worse.
wheels were right there. She could have punctured a tire. Could have,
so many things.
There's lots of things.
So and nobody was hurt, so
Right.
that was cool, And that I was glad when that part was over because it wasn't too long after that we left.
We left, and the next day.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think it was the next day.
Very next day we were leaving.
Had to go.
Yep.
It was time. We were done.
We went
Finally.
short little jaunt down the road.
First place, yep.
Imagine moving yourself. A lot of you folks have moved, but I'm moving into an RV that actually I just purchased 2 weeks prior.
Right, we didn't have it long.
So there's a ton of time that I've spent not checking over the RV. Check the oil, check transmission fluid, check tire pressures, all that stuff. But what about, does the converter work? Does the inverter work? Does the generator charge properly? What controls certain lights? The electric type systems in the living part of the RV. So we wanted to get it down the road.
A little ways.
Get
we
it
stayed in familiar territory the
Right.
first couple days, yeah.
Got to Moorcroft.
Yep. Spent the night in their tiny little RV park.
Yep.
And that was good, It needed plugged in a little longer.
Yeah.
Is what it was. We needed to have it plugged in. So we.
Hello, James. Hello, Grampy.
Hi, guys.
Hello, Tyler.
Hi, kid. Sea lions in the house.
Oh yeah, she's like, you bought a house.
Yes, I'm excited too.
She's
This
going,
place is
"Ah."
fantastic. I love it. We are absolutely blessed. Absolutely blessed. Absolutely.
Oh, I gotta make her a mod. Hey, can you make me?
And what now?
Make Kathy a mod.
Make Kathy a wrench. Get her done. Thank you, Kathy.
I can't do it from here.
Oh, I probably don't have the stuff on my phone to do it. Nope, sorry. Next time.
I'd have to do it on my phone.
We like doing live streams. We've talked a little bit today about doing them more often.
Absolutely, we'd love to do them those more often.
Yeah. One of the first things we asked about buying the house when we looked, it was like there's, like 3 things that have to be there when you're going to buy a house.
Yeah.
One of them, high-speed internet. Okay.
Yeah.
It truly, it's good stuff here. So.
We whittled them down really quick.
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's not gonna be any buffering on our end, so.
Oh, should be good. Yeah. So anyway, back to the Michigan and Bust adventures there. So we left, we went to Moorcroft, and that was absolutely freeing. It felt like escape.
Yeah.
It did. It felt like finally. Oh my gosh, that was so good. It was fun to ride in Falcor, and you had a good time driving. The first day was not very far, and we went out to dinner and parked the rig and slept, and went the next day. We went to Rapid City, which isn't very far still, right? Spent 3 nights at that RV park. It was my first real RV park ever. It was a nice place.
It was.
Yeah, they were getting towards closing up, and I think they were tired. I think that those people that do things like that get kind of weary by the end of the season.
Yeah,
Or
RV parks
something.
and resorts and
Yeah.
campgrounds kind of have a seasonal thing, like
Mhm.
private campgrounds, things like that. Right around October 1st, it's kind of their shutdown season out west there, and we found that pretty much moving across the country too.
Yeah.
There was some that were just not available seasonally. It's kind of weird because pretty nice October.
It was
Places.
lovely. I was
Yeah.
watching. I'm like, wow, that was just wow. It's different now. Yeah. We took off out of there, and I had one little aloe vera plant that I had saved from the garage sale. Somebody was supposed to come get them. Nobody did, so I gave them all away.
Big. Oh, I mean, we started with.
Got several of them.
Yeah, big.
Gone. They went to happy homes, except this one little one. So I put it on the dashboard of the RV. It didn't last long. No. It was too cold up there for it.
Could be.
Yep. And then we had the bobbleheads, which were a new thing. They were fun to play with.
Yeah, the bobbleheads make a lot of video appearances.
They're in a lot of the Southport videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was 3 dog bobbleheads, like a German Shepherd and
it,
2 other type dogs.
Yeah.
Just came with it. So.
Well, it struck me today when I was watching that. So yeah. So Rapid City, we spent 3 nights. Hung out with my adult son Cody Jack for 3 days. It was awesome. We rested a little bit, which we needed because moving into an RV was a lot.
I made a video about fixing slider windows and moving them up
right.
and cleaning up tracks and things like that.
Looked at the systems a little bit.
Yeah.
When you buy a used RV, there are going to be some issues.
Sure.
There were things that we found that are just like, okay.
Okay.
I don't know if the last dude did that or the dude before the last dude did that, and he was trying to fix what the last dude did.
There's still a couple things that
There's
are
some
unresolved.
things, yeah, some unknown quantities there. Yeah, still some things. But we survived it, absolutely. We got used real quick to traveling in an RV. We had routines that we started pretty quick on. When we're going to take off. Last question, as always, is the step kicked in? No, I'll go do it. Yeah. Just trying to do.
Well, actually, Kathy, no, I can't. I'm running a live stream from my phone. I'm the owner of the brand. She's a moderator. Well, actually, she's an editor with highest privileges of
But I still
the
can't
brand.
do that.
But she can't on this phone. And my
well.
computer's no bueno. No bueno.
Oh, no good yet.
No.
Yeah.
We had a coffee incident.
He had a coffee mishap in the RV. There's coffee everywhere.
We had a Windows 8 desktop, which was a salvage computer incident a few days ago.
It just stopped.
And I'm actively shopping. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Hey,
Next time.
It's all good engagement.
there.
Let them troll the comments or whatever. I'm sorry, guys. I can't do anything about it yet.
We has a troll, huh?
We might.
Oh, well. If it gets terrible, we'll stop. That's what it is. We've done it before.
So, where we at?
Where were we? We were in Rapid City.
Yeah.
And then we were talking about issues in the RV. Getting used to traveling in an RV.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And the routines we started, the last step was always is a step kicked in, and whether it was or not. But there's sets of things you want to do. Make sure the dog lead's not hanging out, especially the dog.
With the dog.
Yeah.
Don't leave your trash on the rear.
Leave your trash hanging on the RV. We did that once. Oops. Forgot.
It was
fine.
there. What? It was like
miles and miles.
How many miles did we travel?
That was a long day.
Oh, we went from Warren Dunes to Yankee Springs,
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
Oh, yeah, we traveled like
Long
65 miles with 2
That's great.
Piggly Wiggly bags attached to the back of our
Hanging
RV.
there. It was great.
It's all still there.
Yes, but we did get really used to it really, really fast, living in it, traveling in it. It was a good time there. Anything else you want there? Issues?
No, that's cool.
Okay. So, from South Dakota, we went on to Nebraska.
Hi, Bob.
Hi, Bub.
Thank you. Stay here. We got an awesome story.
This is just good stuff, yep. Nebraska has corn.
And sunflowers.
And corn.
And sunflowers.
And corn.
And ethanol plants.
Yeah, and I found a phone booth.
Yep.
It was weird. And cheap gas. Boy.
Cheap gas.
That was the first state park we stayed at.
Yep.
And it was lovely. It was a nice place. That was the first time I've ever camped in an RV in a state park.
Right.
Ever. So he sent me up to the place to ask the people, how do you do this? And that little girl was not free with information. So you go over here and I'm nope. So it took us a while. We had to go for a walk to find the camp host guy.
Right.
And I was like, oh, okay, okay. So that was kind of we had a little learning curve with some of the payment.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we managed every time so far. That was a nice spot.
Nebraska.
We enjoyed that place, yeah. And then we went to the Sand Hills.
Which was cool. That was in video number 3,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You can look on Google Maps and you see these little depressions. You can see the topography in a lot of, well, obviously everywhere. You can see the topography. It was pretty interesting. We're looking at a different scale of these maps, 100-mile sections as opposed to,
On the Google, well, we're using the GPS maps and the Google Maps, yep.
So I really got to experience that today by watching the video that she was shooting.
Because he was driving.
Obviously, I was kind of looking at the sandhills this way, but I wasn't seeing anything off to the side. So it was an interesting perspective again, bringing that up, watching another one of your videos.
Yeah, yeah. I really thought it was interesting at the time how it translated from what it looked like on the map to out in the world.
Right.
I'm like, well, that's really cool. They were really neat. That was a fun part too. There were a lot of interesting bushes and plants, and I didn't see a staff anywhere, but it was a really nice joint. That was the one, Sand Hills. Yeah, that was the one in Bedford. Yeah,
Yep,
that was a
Bedford.
nice place. Yeah, yep. Nora also had a great experience. She did not like riding in the truck. She would
Pickup
fuss
truck.
and whine and not be okay, kind of antsy about it. But boy, you put her in the RV and she was great.
She could lay on the back bed,
Yeah.
lay on the couch.
She really enjoyed traveling
Good
in
one.
the RV, stopping, staying. She did a great job. We were absolutely impressed with how well she did. Getting accustomed to RV living there. Yeah. She enjoyed, I think, the closeness of it. We never left her for long.
Right, we were always home, and she was
grocery
always with
store
us.
occasionally,
Which is pretty neat,
Right.
Walmart. Let's say you go to Walmart, you get your groceries. You got to load your groceries. You got to load your groceries into the
That's
trunk of your car, the bed of your pickup truck. Go home, unload the groceries
Unload it.
into your
How many
house.
times do you touch it, right?
Go shopping with your RV.
You just load it into the house.
Groceries in the house, from the cart in the house.
Yes. Skipping a step.
I was
Seriously.
like,
It was
wow,
great.
this is great.
I remember that. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
That's one of the perks of living in an RV. Just right
Store,
there.
house.
Right there. Yep. No, she really did. We transferred the lead that we used to attach her to the house to the RV, so we just swapped it. And she would just be attached to the front of the RV if she was outside, and we went for walks, and she really enjoyed it. She really did. She wanted to go to Michigan.
No, actually, we don't have a P.O. box yet set up. No.
Oh, not yet. We will
No.
soon, I'm sure.
Hey, Brad and Krista, how are you doing?
How's everybody? Everybody right there?
Yeah, big family.
All right. Big family. Hi.
Yeah.
I missed you guys. I'm
you're-
glad to be here. This is exciting. I'm happy to share this with you folks. So, yeah, Nora had a good time though.
Some little known facts. There's a couple states that have Chillicothe as a, town name.
Chillicothe.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one of the Chillicotes,
Chillicothe. It's weird how they do duplicate. We'll get back to that, I suppose. Chillicothe in Missouri,
Missouri.
the home of sliced bread.
The home of sliced bread.
Yeah, it was just
Like,
we're driving down there.
Come
He's
on.
driving. I'm like, no, looking at the map and
Google
stuff,
it.
and I googled it, and I told him Chillicothe, the home of sliced bread. He says, I see, So yeah, it really is. It really, really is. Went all the way through Missouri, never ate any barbecue. Just didn't.
No, really didn't. We were kind of coming in around St. Joseph area. And timing wise, and I-29 is like everybody runs
Yeah, there's no
75 mile an hour.
barbecue.
Everybody got to go so fast. And by the time you get off, and it's kind of evening, we needed to get to our spot. And
Yep.
by that time, we needed just to keep heading across Missouri.
Yep, that's okay. We'll be
know?
right. Yep.
Missouri's pretty though.
It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we didn't spend too many. We kind of booked it through Missouri.
We went through Missouri.
You know, and it was a different experience. When you're driving an RV, riding in an RV, a long day is more than 60 plus miles.
Oh yeah.
You know, we did some long days, several hours, and it's too
Yeah.
fatiguing. Makes him thorny, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
Right.
Yeah, and it's hard. It's hard on an old dude, you know. Um, so when we got to Siloam Springs,
Right.
which was Illinois, our first place in Illinois, we needed a good long break because we'd had some heavy days of driving.
Yep.
And it was a very nice spot, very humid, lush, green, gorgeous, beautiful place though. And it was, we walked down this hill and there was lakes and it was a nice spot.
Okay.
We really just hung out there and just, that was where it turned into a vacation.
What, Silent?
Yeah, Silent
Yeah.
Springs, because we were camping, you know.
Yeah, but it was
Camping.
super humid, man. In Siloam Springs.
It was.
Yeah, but there's a lot of history there too. It was healing water they talked about, and it was interesting how Siloam Springs State Park, you know, came to be, and man, crazy humid, like
Mm-hmm.
85% humidity. You get out at 70 degrees, like whoa.
Right?
Oh man, guys.
That's the place we got lost, right?
Kind of lost.
Yeah,
It was very
GPS
hard.
took us with, I don't even know where we were going. And we went back around and we kind of looked down this road and so we went down there and the camp host was right there. She was very nice. I said, hello, we were lost. She saw us drive by. She's like, yeah, you're not the first ones. Yeah, it'll happen again.
So for rookie RVers, rookie campers, you know, going to different places, it's hard to navigate. There's a lot going
Sometimes.
on. Driving your rig or either pulling your rig, but then in an unfamiliar place, even if you have a good navigator with you, you can make a left turn when you're right.
Yep.
Right.
It's interesting. It was interesting. And it's all part of the adventure.
Well, it was.
Absolutely. But,
Yeah, a little funny too, though.
yeah. Yeah. So Siloam Springs was gorgeous, though. It was a good part of the trip.
It was.
Because it rained. Oh, it rained so
Oh, my
hard.
gosh.
Yeah.
4 o'clock in the morning. That's good.
Water feature. Yes. That was
Just
great.
pouring in
That
the
was
RV at the windshield.
Right. Wake up in the morning because Nora's pawing at my bedside. You know, she's freaking out.
Right.
She doesn't like the storm at all. And I wear a CPAP mask, like, you know, and I could have drowned. She was like, trying to drown me.
Right.
Like, no. But I got up and went out and it's
Back row Larry's here. Hi,
Hi,
Larry.
Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Pouring rain. He's always late. Pouring rain through the windshield.
Yeah, boy, it's pouring.
Yes.
We gotta
And
fix
there's
this when it stops raining.
Thunder, and Nora doesn't like it. She like bailed out and went under the blankets after we got her calmed down, but we were bailing.
Yeah.
It was interesting. All part of the adventure. Totally easy for Kevin to fix it.
Yeah, once we got
Totally.
to, oh shoot, Havana, Illinois. Can we skip to Havana?
No,
We're almost there.
wait.
That's
well,
where I
actually,
fixed.
we are.
That's where I
But
fixed the windshield.
I just do want to say that. Yeah, that's where you fix the thing. Before we moved to Havana, I want to say that Siloam Springs is, I think, where I started recognizing a change in my attitude.
Yeah.
I really did. Something that I learned from a counselor right before we got on the road, right? My
Right.
counselor that I
Right.
had. About Opa. And okay,
Opa.
so she told me, she read me this thing and told me what it meant, and it stuck with me. And so what I recognized was, as I'm moving through my life, I'll be like, Opa. A lot of the times going down the RV steps, because it's part of the thing. It's a hoof and a hoof and a hoof to get down it or
Sure.
up it, but it's part of the adventure, and I embrace it. And the
Embrace.
Opa, is about the dance, doing the dance of life, embracing even the hard parts.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know. Yeah, Havana,
Yeah.
Illinois.
Havana it is.
You know, one of my favorite homesteaders says you can fix anything with flame and a hammer. He forgot duct tape.
Yeah, that's where you fixed it. Yep, it's a
Yeah.
good thing too.
So RVs, recreational vehicles, have a fiberglass nose. It's on a truck frame, fiberglass nose, and aluminum siding, and rubber roofs, and it all kind of converges right up at that point. We have lights going across the top of it, and two flat windshields. So there's a lot of places that infiltration of moisture can happen. So it left unattended. We bought this RV in Gillette, Wyoming. It never rains there.
Right?
Okay.
Maybe once.
And this was also a seasonal vehicle.
It was a
So
grandparent special.
it was a grandparent special. They may have never even taken it out in the rain. They may have never known that it leaked at the windshield. Right?
It doesn't leak anymore.
It doesn't leak anymore.
That's right.
It needs to be properly prepared in nice weather, nice warm weather. We'll pull seals and gaskets and do it properly.
Kind of like living with MacGyver, though.
Yeah, duct tape fixes some stuff.
Right on.
And that's still on there. And we drove a solid 52 miles an hour all the way across the country.
Yeah. Solid 52.
Solid 52 miles an hour.
Kind of cruising there. We weren't in any hurry. Yeah.
Oh, I'll save a gas mileage.
That's right. And I enjoyed the trip of it, that we didn't go past. We didn't just fly down the interstate or anything.
Sure, we could have done
We
that.
drove through places, you know.
Right.
Took old Route 66, drove through towns.
Cradle.
So, you know, you'd be driving past like houses and businesses, and you see the same thing over and over. People doing what people do.
Right.
And it was interesting.
It was a taste of small town America.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could have cruised across I-80, straight across South Dakota, straight across Iowa, Illinois, boom, up into Michigan, and saved 500 miles.
Right.
We chose to drive a little further south and kind of loop around, but we got to see a little more of America.
And it was cool. Yeah, I enjoyed that. Very
Taking
much
Nebraska
so.
Highway 2 across Nebraska is a long way. It's probably 500 miles from the northwest tip to the southeast tip,
Yeah.
where we get into St. Joseph. But
That's what bums here.
there's a lot of America to see.
Oh gosh, yes, and it was great. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Right.
There's more Michigan to see. So,
There's a ton of Michigan to see.
So Havana for real though.
What an experience.
We went to Havana because the place that we went to, well, we had planned going someplace else. So we got there and went there, and they were closed for remodel. It was like that scene in National Lampoon's Vacation where Wally World is closed, and the moose didn't tell you. But there was nothing on the website, nothing at all about their closed.
Thank you for coming, big family.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye. Good night. Oh heavens.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
geez.
Red Green would be proud of manufacturers. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, seeing the country is just beautiful.
It was
And
good
then
stuff.
Havana, what a historic little town, and you produced a great video.
I liked Havana a lot.
Oh wow!
We enjoyed that. We stayed there 3 whole days. We just stayed longer.
We would have totally
Not
stayed longer.
kidding. The little RV part,
I think it was 14 spots.
and it was booked solid.
Yep.
For the weekend for sure. So there are people that come every weekend.
Yeah.
It's a nice spot. The hostess was absolutely gracious and helpful and
Very
wonderful.
awesome.
And it was beautiful. Riverside. By
Ri-
accident. We got there
Yes.
by accident.
Watching river
Oh, it
barges
was
and
great.
tugboats and hear on them, and it's just
Mhm.
absolutely wonderful.
It was a lovely spot.
Nice little nature center.
Yeah.
The town itself is super cool. We found a great place that we just absolutely fell in love with. Babes on Plum.
Babes on Plum.
If you are watching,
Hi, Babes on Plum.
wow.
So yeah, because we're gonna have to go back to Illinois so Kevin can eat another shoe
They call it the shoe, and this, there's,
stuff. It's a pile
There's stuff.
of food, and it was good. It was
yes.
good. It was worth going back to Illinois.
Absolutely. We'll drive
All
straight
right.
back to Illinois and do that again.
Yep, absolutely.
Mhm.
Havana. And you know, we wandered around downtown. It was within walking distance, you know. And
Uphill walking distance.
Some of it was very uphill, but we found things. You
Right.
know, the water tower that was
Right.
just very cool.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it was just an interesting place to go.
Right.
One of the things we've seen in lots of places, kind of a downtown
Revitalization.
revitalization.
Yeah.
That's the word. Yeah. So that happened in a lot of places.
So a lot of these middle American towns you went through gave you a feeling of vitality, and some gave you a feeling of kind of stable. Lots of different feelings we got.
Yeah.
And
Havana was vibrant. It was
very
alive.
vibrant, very alive, very.
Oh, it was interesting. But just it really, the place had everything. It had nature and sports, so like fishing and hunting and river, everything river, culture and history and so much stuff there. It was a great place. I would still go back. I would.
I think we will.
Yep, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So we're at our failed mission for sand.
Yes.
Oh, sand.
A super awesome subscriber sent us some reflective triangles that are, for big rigs and motorhomes and things, safety triangles. Yeah. And we needed to fill up the lower part with sand. I was like, oh, we can find some sand down the road somewhere.
So that if you needed it, you'd have had it.
Yeah, we could set up our safety triangles if we needed it.
Thank God we didn't need it.
Thank God we didn't need them.
We were on a beach that had sand. And later, and it's like, it occurred to me later, like, we never did, not even then. Now, I'm going to tell you what, we still have them. We will use them. I'm sure there's sand on this property.
Yes.
But we never managed to find sand.
So we will fill up our safety triangles before we go adventuring.
Mm-hmm.
Because Falcor is not just going to get parked because we bought a house. We still want to fulfill the...
Pure Michigan is going to know my name.
Right.
There's places to go. We can take Falcor. We bought a van. It's green. It's the Kevin needs to pick things up off the side of the road van.
Good, useful, worthy, things.
Hauling things around. Stuff and things.
Worthy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Inventory. Its name's Floyd, and I'm sure we'll do some adventures with Floyd too.
Floyd's an awesome van. It's
He's
a
a great
one-ton
van.
Ford van with a V10. Got lots of power.
That's right. It's a nice van. Indiana.
Oh, did we skip
So
Indiana?
we kind of skipped. Well, we didn't. We just a little bumped ahead there. Mission for Sand after Havana, and then Indiana.
Yeah, I wanted to meet up with Rob, fellow content creator in Indiana, but he was kind of busy, and we were kind of cruising through, and timing just didn't work. So Rob, hey, hi. We live close enough. We'll visit at the border or something. I met Sid in Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana was interesting.
Sid, older fellow. Just alignment sometimes I feel with who people are encountered,
Yeah.
how they interact, when they interact, times of their life, and maybe we don't recognize some of those points that maybe somebody was important or
The brush against somebody.
Well, yeah, Sid, if you're watching, hello, I owe you a phone call. I said it in the last video, I owe you a phone call, but I still owe you a phone call.
Just call Sid.
I'm going to call Sid.
Yes.
So I encourage you, when a fella says hi to you, and spend a minute of your day.
Yeah, give him a minute.
Give him a minute of your day.
Yeah. Sid was very appreciative of the RV because he had one, and he knew what it was, and he wanted to just talk to you about it for a little while. And he did woodworking, didn't he?
A little bit.
Yeah, he would love to talk to you about that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and his elderly wife, of course, has Alzheimer's, and he's taking care of her, and it's sweet. But I think people get lonely.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I encourage you
take care of our old people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Indiana.
Awesome.
Met Sid.
Windy Indiana.
Bumpy Indiana. Windy Indiana.
Right.
Bumpy Indiana.
And the
bumpy
last
Indiana.
place to buy fireworks before you hit the state line.
Hoosier your friendly Indiana? Michigan City, Indiana. Yeah. And then we were through. Right?
Let's
Where you at? Let's see what we got. Nora's on her pet bed we put over here.
That she
It's
just
a giant
absolutely
blanket.
loves.
And she thinks it's great because we just kind of threw it over there, and then she thinks it's wonderful. Kevin borrowed it, and she told me she wanted to call the police. Somebody stole it. No, it's right there. So it's lovely. It's a pet bed that it's this huge blanket. It weighs like 100 pounds.
Awesome. And
Oh,
it was
man.
a wonderful comforter for me
Yes.
last night when I
Yes.
came out to sleep on the couch.
Because Nora took up his half the bed. I was just looking at, and I got distracted. So let's see what we got here. Oh, Jim Dockrell. Hello,
Jim's
hello.
here.
Tinker's wife.
Cool.
How we doing, guys? BG, how you doing, Amanda? Deb Brown tripped over alive. Don't you just love it when you trip and you end up in my living room, right? Okay.
We cleaned up. We pushed
Yeah.
some of the stuff off to the side over there.
Oh, interesting. It's been a long time since we did a live from the couch.
Sure.
Yeah. It was a different couch. It was in a different state.
It was in a different couch. It was a different state.
A different life almost.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then we pulled up to Lake Michigan.
We did.
And that was felt good. I mean, we'd had quite the trip was, we both said it was the time of our lives. Time of our lives. We
Yeah.
had a good time. Absolutely. We pulled up to Lake Michigan and just went, wow. When we're here, made it, right? Didn't go bust. You know, so many things that can go wrong with an old RV. And you
Yeah.
talked about it a couple times, just how you never know. Something can happen. Any roll of the wheel could be the time, but you don't worry about it. You just keep going, right?
You really do. A lot of that's, you put a little bit of faith in God that
Yeah,
He's a mechanic too. But you try to be prepared as best you can with what you do know mechanically. You slow down a little extra. Don't drive as far. Don't hit as many potholes. Things like that. But yeah, you really put a lot of faith in. So as soon as we hit the state line, I really was in Michigan. I was home. I'm a native. I spent 35 years here. Kind of moved around a little bit, then moved out west, and I'm back. I'm 50.
Yeah. Good, right?
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely yes. Absolutely. I talked so many years about the things that we could do in Michigan, the reasons I enjoyed Michigan, what I would do in Michigan, what it felt like to be in Michigan, things, and me trying to convince her, and then she finally, when I see her, just absolutely just happy and gleeful. It snowed all day yesterday here.
And it was cool.
And she just looked, we
watching it snow.
Watching it snow.
It's great.
This is the greatest thing in the world.
That window is different from that window.
Right.
Because they're on different faces of the house. The snow falls down over there and kind of this way over there.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Really, it was. It was.
So I get a different view. I get different windows too.
Yep.
But yeah, absolutely, it's home.
Yes. We hit Lake Michigan and then we went not too long after to Mother's, where I achieved a soft landing because she had agreed to host us for the winter in our RV, which worked out really good for us. And we were planning many winters down the road.
Yes.
And it just didn't go that way. But and you were working in the Legacy shop, making sawdust there. Was your father's shop?
Really, we moved from Gillette. Talked to my mother, and the garage. It was 24 by 30. My dad had built about a year before he passed, maybe
8 years ago, yeah.
So it was pretty much brand new. I landed there about 7 years ago, and deposited part of my hoard and a lot of my baggage.
It was the last pile, wasn't it? It was
right.
the last pile.
But that comes
later
in the story here.
It's earlier, but it comes
right.
later. Yeah, funny.
But then I went back, and so Mom says the garage is yours. Your stuff's in the garage. It's yours. You know, it's your dad's. It's all yours. So um, she offered me the legacy workshop. So that's what we knew that was a temporary space, and so but it was a way
yeah.
that I could continue the Making Sawdust brand, right? Producing content for Facebook, and then later in time a little longer format YouTube stuff.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. He's
Right.
been busy doing that, yep. And I was hibernating in an RV. I've always wanted to. Kind of finally be able to take the time that I've needed to follow my own dreams, chase my passions, make myself feel better.
Right.
Take all that healing that I've ever done and give it purpose and take care of myself. Self care is hibernation. I've always wanted to hibernate, which means essentially I don't have to go out there if I don't want to.
Right.
Basically, which is great. I love it. And then we were grieving, and things change fast. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But we roll, we bounce, we're okay. Good. I think Sea Lion said it. How much God has restored here. We moved out of your mom's house. We took some of the furniture,
Yes.
not much of the stuff there, but we still ended up with an RV and a U-Haul.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No. And the new owners, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful
Great
story. It during the process of selling the home, you really don't get to meet the new owners or or the buyers, I guess, in this case, too, until the closing. And boy, I kind of want to save it for a video, man.
Oh, it's a good story.
Oh, it's
though.
a wonderful.
It's one of those. It's meant to be there.
Oh,
it really is
totally.
meant to be thing there. So yeah, you can
Yes.
save it if you want to.
Yeah, I want to save that
yeah.
one.
I'm on a live stream, and I forgot about this. This is in Indiana. The time warp.
Oh, the time.
Okay, so let me back up. It's like going back grocery aisles in the store. It's okay. I'm allowed. Because we're getting towards it, boy.
Towards
But
the what
anyway,
next,
at the
yeah.
bottom, yeah.
Yeah.
So I got up in the morning, and I always wrote in the log every time we were going to go anywhere, and I wrote 10:04 a.m. and it was wherever we were. In
We
Indiana.
do.
Is that the place
Jesus
we
Lord.
boondocked?
Yes.
Then we went to meet Sid,
Yep.
which was accidental.
Right.
But the place we were at, it was at least an hour later. It was
Absolutely.
an hour later for
Absolutely.
sure. And it was like not 11:04.
No.
So I don't know what happened there. I'm pretty sure I didn't make a mistake. And I know the time changes somewhere around in there.
Sure. Well,
So I think there was some Twilight Zone things going on there.
Some things happen
Really.
there.
I'm like, wait a minute. How is it not way later? Okay.
So to answer a few questions that I've been saving up, yeah, we have 1.3 acres.
Yes.
That was an early question. Any established beds or garden areas? When we first looked at the home, snow. We haven't seen grass yet, but there is evidence of an established garden bed over here. There's actually evidence. I think there's 4 fruit trees at the corner lot line over here.
It's a nice spot. There's tree
Very
lines.
wooded.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
very wooded, mature trees. Absolutely.
It's lovely.
Workshop. I have one in the house and I have one outside. I'm choosing to use the one in the house now because I can stay so much warmer right now.
Yes, absolutely. There's all kinds of things
So
he's doing.
if you guys want to see my
Yeah.
shop, I post all of that on Facebook, but actually my under 500 woodworking group, so Dave and Amanda, you guys are over there, Jim's over there. That's my inside shop. That's where I'm maybe posting some of that behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I post my good hand modeling stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, but the deeper layers always come to you too.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Deeper layers always
always. Let's say hi, Ian.
Oh,
Tinker's wife.
Rick is
Let's
here?
see. Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
And then
Ian.
Ian Gilpatrick.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then
yeah.
what did she say? Like the old gang.
Yes, the
Yeah.
whole gang's here, right?
Gang's all here.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Kinda
Dave's not
We're
here.
missing Dave.
Dave's not here. That's how it
Well,
goes. That's how it goes.
but it's kind of Dave's dinner time too.
You know, we always do that during Dave's
Yeah,
dinner.
so
Dave need to learn to eat while he watches.
it's all right. We'll be all right.
It's gonna be
Dave will
fine.
catch a rewrap.
I don't see some of our folks I kind of expected.
Sure, but
But
it's
that
kind
does
of
happen.
unexpected
Life
for us to
happens,
do
right?
a live stream.
I know. We might do this more often though.
So what is next?
Yeah. Oh, that's where we're at, aren't we? Yeah, because we moved suddenly.
Yeah.
What is next? Hope this works. Making sawdust. Here we are.
What I do
Yeah.
is making sawdust.
Mhm.
I post all my short form content on Facebook, Making Sawdust Brand.
Yep.
I have a under 500 group that will post a little more of that layer there. And coming out on now that we're established, now we don't have a lot of things going on there that were affecting our life, like a move and grief and all that. And get reestablished on YouTube Making Sawdust, where it's going to be longer format, project type videos, and some vloggy type stuff. What is next for Hope?
Well, Hope This Works has a couple different things planned. I have always known that I was going to tell our longer story, the two of us here.
Didn't start at video number 1.
No, it didn't. It didn't. You know, Kevin started making YouTube videos years ago now, right? 5 years ago. The gang's all here, you know, people we've collected along the way, right?
Right.
You know,
You guys are awesome. Thank you.
yes, we're so glad you come and hang out with us in the living room. You don't even make a mess.
I know. You guys are so
Love
good.
it. Yes, my
So
daughter's
the
a
prequel.
girl. It's a prequel, yeah. This is the pre-story. It occurs to me. I've always known I'd tell it, but it occurs to me. You guys don't know that we lived off grid
Yes.
in a 27-foot camper.
Yep.
Once upon a time, before you
Yep.
started making YouTube videos. We wintered in Michigan once before, just for the winter. It's part of the story.
Part of the story.
Part of the story. You know, where were we when we got together? How did we end up there? Not every detail. You know, we're
Right.
not doing life stories here, but
Sure.
some prequel. Kind of
But that's going to help establish some stuff for your.
absolutely.
It's going to be great.
We've learned lots.
Yeah.
And I think
And now we have a little more time to
Mhm.
to present some of that.
Yep.
But along with that, we're going to do. I have a case tractor that I purchased recently.
that's
That'll
probably the
be-
next video is the tractor video, right?
Yeah.
For Hope This Works, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
There's going to be a ton of mechanical stuff. Anything I'm doing with the tractor, probably property maintenance, repairing things. I'm going to still produce. Actually, it's going to open up a lot of time for me to produce DIY stuff.
Yeah,
I hope this
around
works
here,
for you
yeah.
folks too. So we're going to stay current with the prequel and me.
And you and whatever happens here.
Absolutely.
There are projects I still need to do. I have signs yet. There was stuff I was doing in the dungeon shop that I didn't get
Yeah,
to
your little
finish.
creative
I've got
projects
totes and
you wanna-
stuff. Yeah, I need to get
Yep.
back in there and finish that stuff at some point.
Right.
But then there have been other things that are creative that I also want to share.
Absolutely.
It's a great little house. I can't wait to show you around at some point. You'll see it all. I mean, I think we'll end up hanging out in the kitchen together, right?
Plenty of room
There's all
compared to Gillette.
kinds of space. Yeah, it's nice. We have room for activities.
Right.
We do.
We do.
We do. You know, and there have been things that I've wanted to do that I just, you know, hadn't had the. I was working now.
You're working a lot.
I was working, so, and I wasn't anymore. So now here we are.
There's, again, that brings God back into the mix. He helped you
Yep. Get here.
Get here.
Yeah.
Get out of the rat race. I was so swamped with customer orders. I was praying just for help, any kind of help, any kind of help.
Yes, and that makes me think
And
of.
she was pulled in that
Yeah.
direction, and I was pulled in another, and we've just been blessed. Absolutely. You guys
Absolutely.
have blessed us, but he's blessed us. Being able to let things converge in such a way.
Absolutely. Larry Parrish. He said, I'll see it all in July. That's great.
Larry's coming to Saginaw for some wedding in July, I suppose.
We hope that works out.
We
We're
sure
gonna try
do.
to make sure that works out. So
We want to see Larry.
absolutely.
We know exactly where Saginaw is.
If you have any trouble with that, Larry, let us know. We're hatching a plan. Mm-hmm.
Kind of has to plan,
Okay.
Larry.
Right on. So yeah, a tractor. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, where's it gonna go? You know, I makes me think about the first video that I'm gonna make about the prequel, which is kind of a little bit more in depth how we got through the last year.
Yes. Yeah, there's a ton of details
So
that we
much
couldn't
that went there,
produce.
yeah.
There was just not enough time to produce any of that.
Yeah.
There's so much.
And I have so much content, y'all. Okay, when we lived in the trailer on the prairie, the Chajma trailer out there on the prairie, I've got so much content that just needs to be told in this story. You know, Kevin got sober out there, and that's part of his story. You know, and we are the channel all about motivation and
inspiration, education, motivation, creating curiosity, building relationships, and mailing you a fake turtle every once in a while.
Fake turtle. All right, y'all. I think we've been here long enough.
You guys rock. We love you.
We are so glad that you came and hung out with us here on the couch. Look forward to it. I hope you'll join us again. If we do another live stream here pretty soon, it could happen. It could happen.
Look for a Case Tractor video
Coming
on
soon.
Friday night. What day is today?
Today's Tuesday.
Yeah, look for a Case Tractor video on Friday night.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be doing some what's in front of me now and some prequel action. This is going to be awesome.
You guys are wonderful.
Thank you
so much.
Mwah. I love you guys.